Let's talk about, well, where all that money is going out of your bank account and out of your wallet. It's going on the energy bills, it's going on the food shop, it's going on your rent, it's going on the mortgage. And none of those things are going in the right direction. And particularly, of course, energy price cap, that has gone up. Well, has been announced today by Ofgem that it will go up by £35 for the average household. The average household bill for energy, for your gas and your lecky, in the next year will be £1,755. That is roughly 755 quid more than it was just 5 years ago. But why? Well, let's talk about this with Angela Knight. She's the former chief executive for both Energy UK and also a former Treasury Minister. Good morning to you, Angela.
Hello, good morning.
Thanks for joining. I almost wished away the morning then for a moment. Angela, so, okay, why are our prices for our fuel going up? Because the last energy price cap actually brought it down a little bit, didn't it?
Yes, it did, but it's not going up this time because of fuel costs. It's going up because of network charges, because, you know, you do need to do something about the wires and the pipes. And secondly, it's going up because of what's called the warm home discount. You'll recall that a few months ago, there was a lot of concern about, well, I suppose there's always a lot of concern about how much people pay. But there was also all that discussion about removing the winter fuel allowance for the older population and so on. And so a promise was given to increase the amount of support that there was for the poorer people, known as the warm home discount. Yeah. But it comes on our bills. So some of that extra cost of more people being given a discount sits on our bills.
It doesn't come out of the profits of the energy companies. The other users pay for it. Here's the thing. Got the
Can we do the profits of the energy companies now you've mentioned it?
Well, yeah, but I just want to ask you, you say this is the same as, can I just, no, Angela, 1 second. When you talk about, you know, the network charge, the cost of, you know, doing some of the work, we have the same thing with the water companies. What a lot of us can't work out is why energy companies, water companies and others always seem to make big profits. They pay their shareholders, everyone gets a big bonus, you know, who the chief executives and like, and yet they say, but we haven't got any money to do any of these works. But aren't they supposed to use the money we're already paying them for these works?
Yes, it is actually different with the two sectors, but I do appreciate the point that you're making. Now, with electricity and gas, the network of electricity, for example, splits into two. You know, the big overhead pylons, the national grid, that's one company. And then when you've got electricity, you know, the lower voltage that comes around our homes and our businesses, those are other companies. These aren't the people who are actually selling you the gas or electricity. Right. They're a different set of companies. And those that are actually making the money are those who pull the oil and gas out of the ground, and they're different as well. So whilst you absolutely got a valid point, when you talk about energy, there are so many different companies there, and they're all doing different things that one has to be actually quite careful about who you're speaking about.
Okay. But I think a lot of the concern people have is, and again, this isn't, you said the specific reasons why it's gone up this time, and it's not related to wholesale prices, but it does always seem, and this is very similar to when Bank of England, you know, interest rates go up or down, the base rate, is that, you know, just like the banks where, you know, they'll happily put your mortgage up very quickly, but they won't take and they'll take the interest down on your savings, but they won't put the interest up on your savings when the interest rates go up. And the same with energy bills. We don't seem to see the benefits when wholesale prices come down a lot. We only see the cost when wholesale prices go up a lot, and then that cost is built in. We seem to have now got a built-in extra, you know, 700 plus quid on our energy bills. That is a huge sum of money for most people.
And we're now in a situation where your energy bill, most of your energy bill isn't energy. I mean, if you just look at the electricity part, it's only about a third of your electricity bill is actually electricity. With gas, rather more is gas, because so much has been put onto the bill. So you've got the national grid bit, you've got your networks bit, you've got your pipes bit, you've got all the green bit, the subsidy, which is going to renewables. We've talked about the warm home discount and so on. And it is actually, you know, if one unpicks your electricity and your gas bill, your energy bill, and has a look at what goes where, it is very, very surprising. just how much doesn't go on keeping you warm or keeping your lights on. It goes on something else.
I think that'll be making a lot of people very, very angry, I have to say. But look, this isn't the only...
That is the policy that's been there for a long time. But what's gone wrong with the policy is now all those other bits have just gone and increased and increased and increased. And this is because we are engaged in, you know, heading for low carbon here in the UK, which is a good thing. But
no, it's not. No, it's not.
But we're doing it.
No, it's not, Angela. I won't have people just say it's not a good thing.
Right.
Reliable, safe and affordable fuel is the greatest thing that's ever happened to mankind.
Julia, you never let me finish my sentence. So I do think that keeping your environment clean is a good idea.
It's not the same thing.
What we're doing about it is the wrong way. We're doing it in an expensive way, and we're doing it in an unreliable way. And every time you build a wind farm, you've got to build something that's reliable to back it up.
Exactly. It's insane policy.
So policy is a daft policy. There are much better ways. The small-scale nuclear power is one example.
Yeah.
You can put it where the towns are, whereas your wind farm's out to sea. So your network costs some more to get your power in from out to sea.
I'm all in favour of cleaning the environment. That doesn't necessarily involve low carbon. Carbon fuel, fossil fuels are the reason why we live in the 21st century. One of the reasons why we're all still alive and haven't died at 35. Let me come to something else, because it's not just our energy bills that are still going up. We're also seeing inflation across the board, 4.2%. We certainly see inflation in food. The key thing is a lot of the costs of living that have gone up in the recent years for various different reasons have been, you know, the stuff that people can't really choose so much. But, you know, OK, you might cut your some of the luxury goods you might buy in the supermarket, but you still need to eat. You still need to heat your water, and you still need to heat your home and the like. So a lot of the bills that are going up are things that people can't really escape from. We've seen rents going up. We've seen mortgages going up for a lot of people. We're also seeing unemployment going up and likely to go up to its highest level since COVID, 5%. And that's the Resolution Foundation, a left-wing think tank, predicting that. How much of all of this is down to government policy, whether the last government or this current government, and how much do you believe, as a former Conservative Treasury Minister, how much is down to world events, whether it's COVID itself, not the lockdowns, that was a government choice, or whether it's down to Ukraine war? Where's the balance?
Yeah, there is a balance. You're right. I mean, COVID was out of our control. How we dealt with it wasn't, but it was something that turned up. The Ukraine war's out of our control. How we deal with it, we've got some input there. I think that what has happened, though, over the years, and is very, very clear, Julia, is that the assumptions that governments have taken have been ones which have said and resulted in more and more people being a mixture of not having to work and getting higher social security. Yep. So the actual spending on social security has increased and increased. There's a whole piece about the cost of public sector, particularly public sector pensions. You know, you have nurses saying, I'm not being paid enough, and they've got a point there, but then there's 23% addition goes into a pension, you know.
I don't know anyone in the private sector with that, that's for sure.
Exactly. So you've got a chunk of things which have actually accelerated both how much we spend and on what, which are entirely within successive government controls. Now, you can argue that it's also government policy to say, well, we're going to help arm the Ukrainians. But at the same time, there is a real national security issue there, where I think some of the decisions that have been wrong, social security, if I've mentioned, we've got, a quarter now of the working population isn't working. Yeah. That is ridiculous, and that isn't unemployment. That is because of the social security decisions. We have a huge contraction in the workforce and hospitality, which is as a result of that national insurance increase on employers, coupled with increasing the minimum wage, which for some employers meant they had a 20% increase in their wage bill. Yeah. You've removed the ability of young people to get their sort of what they call an entry-level job. Yeah. And the failure to control public spending now means that how much it costs the government, and so costs us, to service our debt is just going up and up. Yeah. And there comes a point at which, unless they control the whole of the economy much better, get people working, cut down on social security, make it attractive for business to employ, and more. Nobody will buy our debt. We'll find ourselves in the problems of the 70s.
Well, lots of predictions of the weekend that we might end up having to cap in hand to the IMF as we did in '76 as well. I'm old enough to remember that. Angela Knight, fascinating analysis. Great to talk to you. Former CEO of Energy UK, former Treasury Minister as well.